Hi guys, and welcome back to Reed's Readers with your host Clinton Reed. I am trying out a whole new angle here because I got this beautiful bookshelf over here in this corner, and I just want my witch books behind me. So bear with me. Pull that a little closer. Ha! That's better. Bear with me today, guys, and excuse how I look. And the sounds you're hearing, that's the bed. I'm sitting on my bed because I have a queen-size bed in a really tiny room. And that makes it very difficult to find another spot. So, move it like that. Ha! It got hit when I pulled out my laundry basket because I'm doing laundry. Well, I've got a haul video here for you guys today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 20, 22 books to share with you that I got this month outside my book outlet orders. You can see depression causes me to buy more. But I'm going to start with the graphic novels that I brought in, and then go into my pre-orders, then I'll go into gifts, and then I'll go into miscellaneous books. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 graphic novels here to share, one of which was a pre-order, which is why I'm going to do it this way. First, I got volume 1 of I Hate Fairyland. This one has been suggested to me quite often. All I know is it's about a little girl who falls into fairyland and then can't leave. Then 30 years later, she's still a little girl trapped inside of fairyland. And it's supposed to be very Deadpool-like, and I'm all for that. I found this at a thrift shop for no, actually I bought this one full price for $10. So why not? Next is volume 1 of Rat Queens, Sassy and Sorceress. Oh, Madly Ever After. My bad. I forgot some of these actually have titles. Rat Queens, volume 1, Sassy and Sorcery. I got this at a vintage stock for $5.99, and I'm like, $5.99 for a graphic novel that a lot of people rave about. It's apparently Dungeons and Dragons, but with females. And apparently it's very sassy. I thought I'd check it out. Now, the rest of these I have read, but first one was a random find, and I have now since pre-ordered the second one, which comes out next month, and I will be pre-ordering the third one because I'm obsessed, and it was everything I needed and more, and that is Jughead The Hunger, Volume 1. Riverdale meets Teen Wolf, just with a lot more vicious werewolves. This is where Jughead is a werewolf. You heard me right, boys and girls. Jughead is a werewolf. And it is fucking phenomenal. But you will hear me talk about that more in my wrap-up for July. So can't wait for the next. Oh, and I found it at a vintage stock for full price. Well, no, actually, I think I got it for $15, but still, it's also a thick one, and it has a preview to Vampironica's. Not quite a preview, but it has the first issue for Vampironica in here, where Veronica's a vampire hunter as a vampire. Can we say female Blade? I read it and I'm very intrigued, so I'm gonna pre-order the bind up for volume one. I like what they're doing with the Archie comics, with these horror ones like The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Spellman. Like, I'm intrigued. Next are two volumes of the same franchise. I went ahead and bought Fence Volume 1, which is LGBT fencing, which I read back in December because I rented it from the library and freaking loved it. And because I loved it so much, I went ahead and bought it full price because I pre-ordered volume number 2. And I will be pre-ordering volume number 3 later this year. All I gotta say is 5 out of 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars. But you'll get more of my thoughts on this in our wrap up. Now let's talk about my full pre-orders. I still have one that has yet to show up, so I've just figured I would show that in a later haul, which was supposed to be with my graphic novels, because it's supposed to be a really thick one, and LGBT, and blah 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 blah. I know I've talked about this one in another video, one of my, because it came on one of the days that I was filming my book outlets, but that is Slayer by Kristen White. I actually have another copy over there, which, because I met her and I had to order another copy to be able to do the signing. I didn't know that. I know that now, so I'm going to start pre-ordering books from them so that when they do the signings and stuff, I can be there for them. Which, if you guys would like to see the haul video of all the books that I got signed at the Kristen White signing this month, comment down below and let me know if that's something y'all want to see what she said in them, what books I own by her, even though technically there are 2 on that shelf that I have read before, but I don't remember them because I read them when they first came out like a long time ago. And I'm still trying to figure out how I ended up with 2 British copies just sitting in my apartment in my stuff. Not my apartment, my house in my stuff, but whatever. And I have 2 copies of this if you want to know like what she signed. Like with Slayer, she just signed it. This one, this is actually the physical one that I've read. And then you've got the new one, which I wanted on pristine, my name and all the others. If you just want to know, just let me know down below. Slayer takes place in the Buffy universe with a whole new Slayer who's quote unquote the last Slayer ever. And underneath is just gorgeous because it makes me think, we're just a Slayer across the thing, just makes me think the original Vampire Slayer book that Giles pulls out and like hands to her. But yeah, you'll hear more of my thoughts of this in my wrap up. Side note, 5 out of 5 stars. This month has been a good month. My next pre-order I want to talk about. These next 2 are middle grade. This first one is called The Whispers by Greg Howard. And it's got those gorgeous deckled edges. And it's a gorgeous, like, seafoam, like, teal color underneath. Excuse me. I pre-ordered this one because this one's about a little boy who, at this 11-year-old boy, Riley, who's, one day his mother just disappears. And he also hears these whispers from the forest. So he is fighting with his mother disappearing, the police investigation and everything. He's fighting with school, the fact that he hears these voices, and the fact that he wants this kid at school. I thought that said the boy's name. he meets this boy at school who he has a thing for, and he's fighting with his own sexuality and stuff like that. And I thought it was really interesting to see that being played in a middle grade novel. We don't have a lot of those. So I pre-ordered it because one, I want to support the author, and anyone who puts this particular line on the cover, the journey of a lifetime begins with a spark of hope. Everyone who knows me knows my favorite word of all time is hope, and that's how I try to live my life, is very hopeful that new things and everything will happen the right way. But I digress. Next is the next installment in the Rick Riordan Presents, which I've really only read Arthur Shaw. I need to change that. And it's my first sci-fi I've purchased in God knows how long. And this one came with a little tear and a little rip in it, but whatever. I don't care. And that is Dragon Pearl by Unhaul. Kitsunes in space is all I gotta say, because I do believe it is Korean mythology. Yes, Korean mythology in space. That's all I know, and that's all I want to know. And that cover is stunning. I apologize for how dark it is. I still need to work on this lighting. Hey, we'll figure that out. And the one that came today, which I'm so excited about. I pre-ordered this in December with a gift card. I had gotten a gift card from a friend for Books A Million. Thank you, Tabby. And this is what I ended up using it on, because it was a book that I was super excited about and wanted to pre-order it. And at the time, I was like, do I want to pre-order it now, pre-order it later? I'm like, oh, no, I don't have money, blah, 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 blah. And that gift could not have came at a perfect time. But I pre-ordered A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmerer. And this cover, I don't know if it's doing it justice on the camera, is stunning! All I know about this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, a little bit darker than normal, and the Beauty character has cerebral palsy, which is one of the few things my sister had before she passed. My sister had cerebral palsy, C and V, and microcephaly, and to see one of her, what she dealt with, portrayed in a book, just, I don't know, just, like, blows me away. And I am very intrigued. And it is a long one, so I'm wondering if it's a standalone or if we're getting a series. But this cover is just stunning, and I'm so happy to get this. And I can't wait to read it. Next, we'll go into some presents that I received and a giveaway that I won before I get into miscellaneous buys. My friend Charlie Brooke from Charlie Brooks sent me 2 poetry collections, which I'm super excited about for Christmas. Because I sent her some books, she sent me some books, like, it's a thing. One of which I'm reading next month, but you'll have to wait till those TPRs. But, first one is Don't Call Us Dead by Denez Smith, which is one that I've been really wanting to read. All I know about this is it's written by a young black gay male. That's all I need to know. And it's poetry. I don't really like to know a lot about poetry going in. It's just poetry. And let us censor the photo before it gets, like, me blocked. Because I just realized there's a penis on the cover. Go Charlie! And the other one she sent me is Poems to Live Your Life By, chosen and illustrated by Chris Rydell. Because, and I loved her cute little reasoning, because one is poetry, and it's by like poems by different artists by poets. Lewis Carroll, Shakespeare, Kate Tempest, Neil Gaiman, W.B. Yeats, I could never pronounce his name, and others. And then it's just got cute little illustrations throughout it by Chris Rydell. And I loved her cute little reasoning for sending me this one because we met during the Fall into Reading-a-thon. And the book we read was The Graveyard Book, which was illustrated by Chris Rydell. And she is now one of my closest friends. Love you, Charlie. Thank you. Can't wait to read them. Next, I did a book exchange with some lovely ladies on Bookstagram for Booksta Babes. Secret Cupid, which we all sent ours in January because we were like, these are yes are for the day before Valentine's Day where you celebrate your friends. But whatever. We all got them early, and I think I was the first one to receive their gift because, like, I was one of the first ones to send mine, but I sent mine via Book Depository, and you know how long that freaking takes. But I received from Record of a Bibliophile, Emily, I fucking love you for this because it's one of my most anticipated reads that I really wanted to get to last year and I just couldn't, and the sequel just came out, so maybe I'll read this later this year and buy the sequel. And that is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. And I really hope I pronounced her last name right. All I know is this is a set. This is a mythology set in Cairo, Egypt, with devas, which are genies. That's all I know. That's all I really want to know. And apparently it's like everyone's favorite new fantasy series. That is a chunker. Oh, it's not that bad. It's only $5.26. Just looks a lot chunky. Excuse me, it looks a lot chunkier, but thank you again, Emily. I cannot wait to get to this. Oop, let me put my little stuff back in that. Next, I want a giveaway on Instagram from Time Lady Jess. Love ya, Jess. I won, I think it was $25 off of Book Depository, and this is what I chose because this is a middle grade series that I've been really curious about, and I'm happy I have the British covers because the fact that this is a very popular series over there, like this fights with Harry Potter as the number one like book series from England. And that is the His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, which has, let me pull them out, which has Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, or aka The Golden Compass in the United States, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass. I remember watching the movie Once Upon a Time. I know it's about a world where people have these little animals that follow them around called demons, which are actually their soul companions, and if they die, their demon dies. If their demon dies, they die. And there's a polar bear. And someone's trying to steal people's demons. Other than that, I don't really remember a lot. I watched the movie like years ago, but nah. Super excited to have these now. So you may see me read them upcoming soon. Okay, these next two books I got for buddy reads, one of which I was supposed to have read this month, but I got like 100 and something pages in like twice. Because I've tried the audiobook, I've tried physically reading it. I just don't think my mind is like in the place to be reading this. So I'm going to try again later this year when I'm in a better mindset. And that was Outlander by Diana Galbadon. All I know is it's about a woman who lives in 1945, and then she walks through the stone archway and lands in 1743. But sorry, Nikki. I will try again. You're enjoying it. It's just way too slow for my depression, and it like spirals me back. But and the next one I got is a buddy read I'm doing in March, and that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Which, can we just talk about this stunning cover with the staircase and this gorgeous blue? All I know about this is that it's a romance suspense, and it's like one of the original romance suspenses. This was wrote in, when did this come out? 1938. So it's technically a modern day classic. All I know about this is about this woman whose husband's previous wife died, and she's starting to realize that maybe it wasn't of natural causes. That's literally all I want to know going into it. Like, all I want to know. And some more miscellaneous books that I found that I wanted. This first one y'all have heard me talk about, and it's now going to be labeled one of my guilty pleasures, because, let's be honest. Again, thank you, Julie, at Pages and Pens, for even mentioning this to me, because then I had to go out and buy it. Went out and rented it from the library last month. Then I bought it because I'm pre-ordering the sequel to this year. Because I need more of it in my life. Because I'm garbage. I'm a garbage human being. Hot and Badgered by Shelley Lawrenston. All I can say about this is honey badger shapeshifters. We're moving on. These next three books I got because I read books by these same authors last year, and I'm really wanting to read them this year. And we'll see the little peek to my contemporary TBR, contemporary-a-thon TBR, but because they made my top 10 list, all three of these authors, I wanted to give them another go. Goodbye Days by Jeff Zettner, who is the author of The Serpent King, my number one book of last year. All I know is something about he killed his three best friends. Who knows? My number two book of last year was Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I got One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Same author. All I know is about this woman who has, after their first wedding anniversary, husband's on assignment, but then he never returns, so he's presumed dead. So she ends up going back and getting engaged to this other guy, falling in love again, and her husband comes back. And I read This Adventure Ends by Emma Mill last year, so Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills, which I knew nothing about This Adventure Ends before I went in, and that's how I want to do that. And the last book I found at half-price books for $3. And I just had to have it. The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. which is a book I've been very interested in. Which I know absolutely nothing about. All I know is everyone says it's got a really unique magic system and something about psychics. And the underneath hardback cover is stunning. And yes, I know, they changed the covers to these. But just saying, I don't care. $3, darling, $3. And if I like it, then hell, I'll purchase the other new cover of all three, and then when the fourth one comes out, I'll have a matching cover. But that is my haul video. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe. I'm sorry this was quite a long video, but we know me, I'm garbage. I'll just leave you on this. Remember, kids, reading is what? Fundamental. Until next time. Bye. Mwah.